It's the Towards Wealth Real Estate Investors Radio Show on News Talk 550 with award-winning author Jim Glasgow. Jim has over 35 years of real estate investing experience, and he is the CEO of Jim Rentals LLC, a real estate investing and syndication company. Here's Jim.
Well, good afternoon or evening, everybody. Welcome and happy Sunday. We're glad that you tuned in to the Towards Wealth Real Estate Investing Radio Show. For the next hour, we're going to talk real estate investing. Now, today we got a special guest here at the station. It's Kirk Barbera of Today's Investor, and he's going to be interviewing me this first half hour about a real estate investors training seminar that we have coming up in March. So he'll be asking me some questions, and we'll help hopefully enlighten you about the real estate investing seminar and why we think it's a great idea for you to start your real estate investing by getting a little bit of training. Then in the second half of the show, we'll be talking about real estate investing seminars. In our case, we do mobile home parks, syndications, and Mr. Kirk Barbera will be interviewing me about mobile home park real estate syndication. He's with Today's Investors. So we're going to get started right off the bat. We're not taking calls today. We will be back with calls, taking calls live on the air next Sunday at 6 o'clock. And the topic next week is getting started as a real estate investor. It is our number one question that we get is how do I get started with or without having any money? And that's what we'll be talking about for the 30 minutes next Sunday at 6 o'clock. All right, Kirk, I'll turn this interview process over to you.
Well, thanks for having me on, by the way. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
And so I had several questions after reading through your book and kind of looking through stuff to learn more about how you're helping, people get their first foot in the book.
Which book were you reading?
This is the book that's How I Made Millions in Real Estate and How You Can Too. All right. Great little book here. I really recommend it. Haven't finished it. Full disclosure, haven't finished it, but so far, so good. I'm enjoying the first couple of chapters.
It's kind of in a conversational mode, and we kind of set you up in that first chapter with some of the prerequisites because people have a lot of misconceptions about investing. We want to kind of get rid of those and let you know that, hey, you can do this.
Yeah, and I like how it starts off by laying some groundwork. Mm-hmm. It doesn't it has the practical stuff that I've been looking at later in the book, but it starts the fundamentals, which is really important. And actually one of the first questions I had was about some of those fundamentals. In your book, you have numerous traits and habits that you talk about at the beginning, but you have the final one in there is good reputation. I think a lot of people take that for granted. But I wanted to get your opinion. That's in your book, and you said in the book that a good reputation kind of requires all the other traits that you've talked about. So why do you think that is?
Well, integrity is the main thing. You're asking people to sell you their most prized or most expensive possession. You're going to rehabilitate that or rent it or sell it or create a note or do something with it in one of the real estate strategies. And then you're going to ask those people to buy from you. You may be asking them to lend you money to do this. And your reputation, your integrity, and how you handle those people makes a huge difference in your success. It keeps you out of trouble. And that's where referrals and further business come from, because it's much easier to run a business if it builds year after year after year on what you did in the past. And we can easily do that in real estate. It's one of the miracles of real estate is that we can do something today and get paid 10 years from now for what we did today. And so that's one of the great things about it. But you need that reputation to do it. And one of the things that we need a lot of is money. And often you're borrowing money, whether it's from a bank or from an individual financing a house for you, or whether you're borrowing money from a private lender to fund your deals. You need that reputation. That's what they lend. They're lending you money. The house may be the collateral, but you're the person they're lending money to. And the rest of those are prerequisites because, for instance, one of the things that is not a prerequisite to getting rich investing in real estate is money. It's not a prerequisite. There's plenty of money out there. You just don't have any. There you go.
That's pretty true. I will go along with that.
I hope that kind of.
So what would I do? I don't have any money, so how would I get started?
Oh, luckily you don't have to have money. There's lots of people who have money. When I started in 1982, I bought 3 houses that year, and I thought I needed a lot of money. And back then I saved up $10,000. It took me about 7 years. I finally sold a car I had been fixing up. Because it was worth $6,000 and I wasn't getting anywhere, family and life and everything getting in the way and taking money all the time. And I thought I needed $10,000 to get started. And that would be equivalent to about $20,000, $25,000 today. And then I bought 3 houses and put $1,000 down on each, and used a credit card to rehab the flip, and gave my wife at the time the check back, all that money. Said, look, I don't need the money. I thought I needed all this money. I don't. I do need a little credit, and what happened was people would finance the houses for you. So I thought I needed money, but to get the bank loans, because the banks want 30% down. So that's why I needed the $10,000. Nope. People will finance the houses for you. And I bought 3 with $1,000 down each. Now I'm sure it'll take a little more than that today, but not much. So you don't necessarily need money. Lots of people have money, and if you pay them more than the bank's paying them, they'll lend it to you.
So getting started, I need to find the other people that are going to help with the money, right?
Well, you need to get a little training so you know what you're doing. There's a lot of various real estate investing strategies, and that's what the seminar we're doing in March is about.
What are the dates in March?
It's 9th, 10th, and 11th.
9th, 10th, and 11th.
Regular 3-day real estate investing seminar, and you get there's some CD special program where you get a training course and all that with it too. And we can talk about that if you want.
Absolutely.
Or you can come to just the seminar. And the idea is that it's not what you know, it's what you don't know. Okay? And so we're going to spend 3 days, and we're going to take a fire hose, and we're going to shove information at you. And you're going to take a lot of notes. And the goal is for you to leave there with 10 or 11 different strategies of how can you make money as a real estate investor, so that no matter what house you run across, you know what to do with it. Whether it's a mobile home, do you know what to do with a mobile home if you run across one bargain? Well, that's what we're going to teach you.
No idea.
Do you know how to get people to lend you money? How do you do the marketing and advertising to find a good deal? What house should you buy? For a rent house, which one should you buy? Simple question, right? But if you don't know the answer, then you can make a mistake. And so flipping a house, like you see on TV, everybody kind of likes flipping houses. How much should you pay for the house? What does it cost to fix it up?
Less.
How do you sell for it? How do you determine the value?
Yeah.
How do you know your exit strategy before we're going to give you all that information. No sense in you struggling, trying to figure it out, making mistakes, spending tens of thousands of dollars in mistakes when the information is there. And so that's what the seminar's for, and then we have the CDs and stuff because there's no way you can remember it all. So it's a great deal, and you can get started with little to no money by wholesaling, and then from you use the money you make in wholesaling to flip and so on. And it's kind of a process, or some people just go straight to rental properties.
So if I were getting started and I went into wholesaling.
A lot of people start with wholesaling.
Okay, now, but I have to move from wholesaling outside of it is what you're saying?
No, you can wholesale forever if you want, but wholesaling is a job.
Can you get rich doing that?
What?
Can you get rich wholesaling?
Well, you can make a living.
You can make a living.
You get rich by having other people pay for your properties. That's how you get rich.
Okay.
So you buy a property and you let the renters pay for it.
So you have this good reputation, and that is how you find your first investor or your first money man, essentially?
Well, you find your first deal by marketing, because you've got to find a bargain house. And that's with marketing, and we spend quite a bit of time talking about how do I market to find a deal? How do I do marketing that doesn't cost money, and how do I do marketing that costs money? Because if you don't have any money, you got to start with the stuff that's free. What can I do? Whether it be Facebook or what we call driving for dollars, or those bandit signs you see around town that says, I buy houses, that kind of thing. Those are pretty inexpensive to do. And then now that you got the sign out there and somebody calls you, now, how do I answer the call?
What do you say?
What's my script? What do I say? And then when I get in the house, what do I do? And that's what this training is for, is to help you through those bumps so that when you do the marketing, and then depending on what property comes up in your marketing, whether it be a mobile home or a fixer-upper house or a cheap house or an expensive house or what we call a pretty house, you need to have the different strategies of what to do with that. But because if all you're doing is wholesaling, then you're only looking for houses that need a lot of repair, and you really limit it yourself. So our training covers all the strategies. You may specialize in wholesaling in the beginning, a lot of people do. Then they move to flipping with the money they made wholesaling. And then they go to rentals as soon as they find a house that fits the rental fleet, because in the long run, the landlords get rich. I mean, throughout the centuries, the landlords always get rich. And that's one of the reasons the rich get richer. There is more wealth in real estate than anything else in the world. That includes oil. There's more store of wealth. More people get wealthy in real estate than anything else. Even the people who make a lot of money from their skills, maybe it's a singer or something, they always end up at real estate. They always go back there because of a way to protect the money that they've made and have their money working for them. And guess what the banks do with money? They lend it to real estate people. Gosh, gee, That was a no-brainer, right? So you can borrow money from people just like the bank does. You just have to know how to proceed doing that. It's not easy. None of this is necessarily easy, but if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. What we want you to learn is how to do it, and then get out there and do it. There's no reason you can't make yourself, well, how about a millionaire? That's a good place to start. It's not much today, but it's a good place to start. You've got to have a goal, right? Might as well be a millionaire goal. You can do it in 5 to 8 years.
Okay, 5 to 8 years. And with the seminar you have going on March 18th,
No,
correct?
March 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Sorry, March
it's at the
9th, 10th,
Norris
and
Convention Center.
Norris
And
Convention
we
Center.
start at 8:30 in the morning, and we go to 6:30 at night. So we'll give you little breaks, and we'll take an hour off for lunch, but we've got a lot of information to cover. We'll probably not get it all covered. We could surely use 5 days, but people can't just take off that much time. And we have a part of the special package we're running includes 21 CDs, about 15 hours of me talking about all the different things. So if you run across a mobile home in your marketing, you take that CD out, put it in your player, and listen to it while you're going over there to make them an offer on it, so you know what to do.
Now at this seminar, we're going to get the strategies you're talking about, and you will include the scripts, because I have no idea what I would be saying. So you'll have like word for word scripts.
That's right.
I love that, because I was an old salesperson, and when I got started, they gave me a script, word for word. I was selling knives in people's houses. I had like this blue book. And so you guys have that word for word thing I could just hold, like read on the phone.
If you take the special deal, which I don't know why you wouldn't, but if you take the special deal, then you get what we call the Real Estate Investor's Playbook. It's a ring binder. There's about 300 pages in it, and it's the scripts and contracts and marketing ideas and copies of ads and websites to help you out, and just white papers and all kinds of information in there to help you. So no matter what you run into when you leave the seminar and get out there and get started, that you have the paperwork and information ready. It's time for a break. We're going to be right back after the break with more questions about the real estate investing training, so you can get started without breaking the piggy bank. We'll be back in just a minute.